You're listening to Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. Comics, television, movies, and more. If it impacts fan culture, we have something to say about it. And now, your hosts, Jordan, Cliff, and Seth.
Hey everybody, we're glad to have you on this episode of Ka-Pow, the pop culture podcast. My name is Jordan Lowe.
I'm Cliff Barnes.
Seth. Cliff, we watched a movie.
Oh man.
It's officially at the bottom of my list of movies I watched this year.
I don't know if you can we can even categorize it as an official movie. It was so bad.
I'm intrigued.
Netflix. Father Stew, starring Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Mel Gibson.
And Mel. Just put that cherry right on top of it. Yeah. Let's throw in some Mel Gibson in there.
I figured it out.
7th time's a charm.
I'm being an actor.
You don't belong with those LA folks. They're a bunch of fascist hippies.
Who do you think you're gonna be, the next John Wayne?
Get yourself a marvelous mop. What can I get for you, miss? I got beef.
Let's not waste either of our time. I'm a Catholic. I can't date someone who isn't baptized.
Where's the water? I'll do it now.
You're getting into the fine print on this way of living, pal. Well, you got a long road ahead.
Comes around.
God is all about defying the odds.
It's up to you to decide what you've got to offer.
This is a place you told me you believe in me.
Your son is about to make a huge mistake.
I'm gonna be a priest.
For Halloween.
Hear the trumpets, hear the pipers. Man don't lose when he gets knocked down, but when he won't get up. Father Stew.
Can't say I never gave you nothing.
Yeah, I skipped over thanking you. Went straight to the source. Exclusively at cinemas May 13.
Yeah.
Based on a true Stew story.
Stew story.
Yeah. I don't even know how to describe it. It was just bad.
Yeah. It didn't start out terrible. It just like at one point I was like, oh my gosh. This is not good.
Yeah.
I was like, what? This is very poor quality.
It definitely took a turn. I mean, it starts out, he's this,
he's a fighter.
Yeah, he's a boxer.
The fighter. I was like, this is the fighter. Wait, I saw this movie.
And then he's going to go to LA and become an actor because why not? Anybody, it's the 70s.
He's Dirk Diggler.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and then
he meets a girl. And she's Catholic, so he thinks he'll get into being Catholic. And next thing he knows, he just loves it because he freaking gets in an accident and gets run over or whatever. He's just like, this is for me. Sorry, bye, girlfriend. I am really into this. And he gets fat. He gets big and fat. I was like, I mean, I think that he gained some weight for that, or what did they put? I don't know whether it was effects or whether he just gained some weight.
I don't think it was effects.
I agree. He gained some weight. Like, I'm probably not easy to lose at his age. Like,
so what?
Anyway, it was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
It was.
Like
I don't like him, but I have liked a lot of his movies. I have enjoyed him in movies. I'm just like, it's on here.
See, you've reviewed this whole movie, and I'm not even sure if it's a comedy or a drama, or if it's critical of the church, or if it's like one of those faith-based films.
No,
I can't tell anything.
It's got Mel Gibson in it.
Yeah.
You think it's critical of the church?
Right.
It's not. This is supposed to be a fucking the church saved you story type thing. Oh, he also gets a disease. He gets He's also. I'm not laughing. He also. It's a true story. He also got a disease.
Yeah.
So
he becomes disabled.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it's it maybe could have been a good thing. Like, it's almost like the true story could have been good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But they just handle it so weird.
Yeah, it was like it was just a movie, and then he gets run over, and I was like, wow, that was, pretty
graphic.
gruesome. and then it just it took a turn there. Like suddenly, sorry girlfriend that I've spent countless hours trying to get you. I'm just going to be a priest.
Yeah, she didn't like that really.
No,
not at all. Then he starts getting fat, and then he gets a disease that he can't. He can still do it. Apparently, that's the only thing he still can do is have sex. But he's a priest, and it's just like, why? Why are we?
Yeah, it was awful.
Malcolm McDowell was in it too.
Yeah. He couldn't save it.
So that's how I finished the movies. I came back and held my eyelids open. I thought, I'll take a tip from Malcolm McDowell. My eyes open. It just wasn't good.
Yeah. Alicia went to bed.
Mel Gibson played Mel Gibson.
He did.
He was his angry father. And it had Jackie Weaver, the Sally Struthers lookalike. It was just a stupid movie. It was like, it will definitely be the worst movie I saw this year. I thought
that's important, at least. That's a milestone.
Yeah. I always like when I find it. So I know what the bottom.
The benchmark.
It's like, what's the bottom this year? I know what it is.
Father
I saw somebody graphed out. They did the math for all the movies streaming on Prime, Disney, Netflix, and one of the other channels, and took their Rotten Tomatoes scores. Just trying to determine what are the where are the better streaming options. Yeah. And like they're all kind of skewed down. Like there's not a lot of real high movies. But the three they did all had a normal like bell curve. A few really good movies, a lot of average movies, and a few really bad movies. But the Prime had a curve way at the bottom. Like Prime apparently has the worst movies on it, and they're saying, well, a lot of people, you can just put your movie on Prime. So like a lot of indie films are on there. You can like just contract with Amazon.
It's a good place to find movies that you can't find anywhere
so there's
else.
there's a lot of stuff that's not curated or whatever. But like by a long shot, Prime has the worst the worst review movies available.
They have the worst ones available.
I watched that other Netflix movie, Blonde, that everyone's talking about. Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, I still want to watch that.
Here. Please come. Don't abandon me.
She's coming.
Men grow cold as girls grow old, and we all lose our charms in the end. It's said that those lamps go back to their spouses. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
She's coming. She's almost here.
I'm gonna defy the odds. I think people think that it's a biopic, and I don't think it is. I think
I know it's based on a book, and I think the book was more about the myth of Marilyn and fame and the being in the spotlight and being an object, being objectified and treated like you're not a real human. So it's a lot of that of like, oh, fame's really hard and being rich is terrible, this sucks. But it's just sort of, I don't know. I don't know a lot about Marilyn Monroe. I'm not a big fan. I don't know.
You've heard
history,
Candle in the Wind,
but I know I know the high points.
So you know the gist.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you got.
So I watched I watched a 2 hour and 45-minute movie, and I don't feel like I know anything more about her. Like I didn't. Yeah. There's no real nuance there to explore her. But again, I think that's part of the idea that it's about
that's
Marilyn.
A lot like
it's
the
not
Elvis.
about Norma Jean. Yeah.
Oh God, that Elvis.
Did you see the Elvis movie?
I have that one saved as well. I'm like,
oh my gosh,
I couldn't even finish.
Tom Hanks has got to get a life.
I finished Father Stew, but I could not finish through that Elvis movie.
Freaking Tom Hanks is.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh, the stupidest role. I didn't mind the movie that much, but it was like Tom Hanks was just like, stop. It's just like, this is embarrassing. Like, what is the why? Ugh. You look so stupid.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't seen it, but I feel like it's exaggerated. It's larger than life.
It is.
I haven't heard anything why that would be why him specifically adds to the role there.
Well, I predict you would like it better than Blonde, but I will say that in my current rankings of the year, it is just above Father Stew on my screen. I just noticed that when I was looking on my list there. Yeah. Well, we watched a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
The two biggest shows on right now for me, I think, are Hot D, House of the Dragon, and Rings of Power. The two competing fantasy shows.
I feel like people want these shows, like they want people to really love one and hate the other, or what? Like it's.
I like
There's
them
a weird
both
competition
equally.
that has sprung up between these shows. Their fan bases, at least. I don't
know. I really like both of the shows pretty much equally. I read that Fire and Blood. I feel like that was the best decision I could have made to read that before watching the show, because it is just fast forward, skipping 10 years at a time, and at least I know what happened in the 10 years that they don't show on the show. And it's like I don't know exactly why the frenetic pace, but are you watching it, Cliff?
I have watched I think 3 episodes and some parts of other episodes. Like I really loved Game of Thrones, but I'm really struggled to get into this at all or even care about it. I'm not sure why. If it may just be the ending of Game of Thrones and I'm still burnt over that. But I did start watching it. I did go back and rewatch the first 3 episodes the other day to just try and get it. I thought maybe I'm just missing something that I'm not, I don't know. And so I did that. It's fine.
It's pretty good if you know what's going on, but it's no early years Game of Thrones.
No.
It's a totally Game of Thrones is far away a better show than Hot D.
Right.
But I'm still glad to have it. It's good.
Yeah, my wife, I think she's all caught up on it so far, and she likes it. But she also she's got the books here. So yeah, maybe I'm just missing that, but my son, we have been using his HBO Max account, and he decided he wasn't watching anything on it currently the other day and canceled it this week. So I don't know if it's enough to get me to go back.
After you raise that boy and support him all these years, he does you like that.
It's unthinkable.
Wow. Wow. And then Rings of Power is, the controversy about that show.
Amazon wants me to watch that show. Every time I log into it, to either Amazon or just Prime app, it's like, hey, you could watch Rings of Power. You watch a lot of nerdy stuff, right? It's Rings of Power. Like,
I really like it. I really like it. There's a lot of freaking nerds out there that are so mad, though, and I'm just like, there's a guy I work with. It's like he reads all the message boards and listens to all the things, and he is like, oh, but this, what about this? And I'm just like, just have to argue back the other side. I was like, it's there's a lot of lore to support that and this and that. I really, really like it. And there's the biggest thing is, I think a lot of people are watching it. Anyone that is just watching it would not know that it's kind of about figuring out who Sauron is. because this is pre Lord of the Rings, so it's like Sauron didn't start out, isn't there's a period where he is not this bad guy, not a bad guy. And there's several characters right off the bat that if you're into Lord of the Rings, all you're just like, well, which one of these people is Sauron, if any of them? And there's a lot of disagreements about who it is. I'm 100% sure I know who it is, and and watching it, knowing it, looking at it that way, really, they'd sprinkle in all these quotes and lore and things, and try to, that really, back up your theories and stuff. It's just like,
yeah, that sounds like something a Tolkien fan would love.
Yes.
And would love to find clues and pick apart and debate and discuss.
But you can't be too big. You can't be this obsessed person.
Yeah, but if they can't get over the hump of Tolkien didn't have this race of hobbits or what, if you can't, I can see that tightrope of like,
that's
you got to be a big enough fan to care, but not too big to just.
They can't, but you can't be.
Yeah,
my precious about it, so they're just, that's their problem. They're like, there's a thing, Galadriel did it, it wasn't this and that. It's like, well, they're basing it on this. There's reasons to say that she was a warrior and all this. The casting is phenomenal. Everybody's great in it. I love all the stuff that they've got. There's like the preamble at the beginning of Fellowship of the Ring about Isildur and all this stuff, telling the stories of what has happened, and it's all told by Galadriel. They're like kind of setting all that stuff up way back in the day here to get some of these characters. And the money's on the screen. Like, there's a lot of really great stuff. They did this whole thing that explains Mountain Doom, like how Mountain Doom became Mountain Doom and stuff. It was really good, made sense to me. I'm glad I'm enjoying it, even if a lot of people aren't. It's like, it's working for me, so that's all I can.
Just imagine how much, so the billions of dollars being spent to pander to fandom, and we get annoyed.
Yeah,
it's not good enough.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm just like,
I'm not happy enough. You didn't do it exactly right.
That's what I was telling the dude I work with. I was like, you are picking at a $1 billion show that is crushing it, that if you had access to this 30 years ago, you'd be losing your mind. But yet you have literally told me some of your favorite shows were Hercules and Xena Warrior Princess, and you don't like this. I was like, that's garbage. I couldn't even watch those shows, and you're critical of this. Like, ugh. People don't know how good they have it.
No. These are the good old days, folks.
Yeah.
You're living them.
It's crazy. You said you watched Quantum Leap?
I did. Speaking of the good old days.
Yeah.
NBC has rebooted Quantum Leap.
I'd like that slower explanation now.
Your name is Dr. Ben Song. You're from the year 2022. You were the lead physicist on a top secret project called Quantum Leap. You're a time traveler. I'm Addison Augustine. We work together.
Obviously, I time travel into other people, so beam me up.
It's not that simple. You leap into people to help them or someone around them, changing history for the better, no matter what happens. Ben, look out! I am going to be with you every step of the way until we get you home.
Ben knew that the technology wasn't ready.
Can you hear me?
Why did he leap? Find out what he's there to do and bring him home.
If you fail, there is 100% chance that this ship will crash.
Just out of curiosity, if the person I leap into dies,
you die too.
Right. Good to know.
Wait a second, there must be a misunderstanding, okay?
I wasn't sure if I was going to watch such a thing because I had heard well, the week it came out, there was some, I saw some tweets here or there, but like Scott Bakula said he had nothing to do with it, and you know, it was just like no involvement. And I was like a little like, well, you know, I wasn't sure what it was going to be, what, you know, at all. And then
the credits say created by Donald P. Bellisario, so that's a stamp of approval.
Right. But I don't know. I've watched the first 2 episodes. I started the third one before we recorded tonight, but I haven't finished it. But what'd you think of it?
It's fine. It's again, I remember watching the original, but it's not something I've seen every episode of. Like I don't have a huge nostalgia reaction to it.
What?
I mean,
you don't think of Scott Bakula every time you hear Imagine?
No.
By John Lennon? What?
No.
You don't see him on the porch singing to his sister?
No.
Playing the guitar?
Idea.
You are a pathetic loser.
That is actually one of the few episodes of that show I've ever seen.
Well, there you go. Anyway,
it's the exact same story. Did Scott Bakula have amnesia? Did he not remember?
Yeah, he didn't remember stuff.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he did not remember stuff.
Because I wasn't sure if that was a new twist, because this guy has gone back and he doesn't remember why. Like he jumped the gun and went ahead.
Yeah.
So there's a mystery this season of why would he not tell anyone he was doing this. So
this is what sucked me in. Yeah, it's like that you know like there is some it's not exactly the same thing. There's this
references to the previous, like it's not pretending the original series didn't exist.
It's like, honestly, I'm watching it because in the first episode they talk about Sam Beckett and like he is still lost out there. I'm like, come on. It's like, that's all you had to say. Like, like for all I know, this secret mission that you're on, you can't remember, is to go find Scott Bakula. You know,
they're dangling that hard.
I mean, they're even go to trying to find the daughter of, you know, he's in cahoots with the daughter of Dean Stockwell. I mean, they're definitely leaning into the old story. So I'm like, okay, now I'm listening, you know. And the first couple episodes were totally fine. I didn't blow me out of the water, but they had enough of that nostalgia sprinkled in. I don't care for the lead girl. Like, she's so generic. Like, I don't know. She is just any white girl. From anywheresville, wherever.
Lady Al has not lived up to
no. And
because Al was he was the spark of the show.
And in this show, she was the one that was supposed to go travel through time, and Ben Song was the one that was supposed to be the Al, but for some reason he was secretly in cahoots with Al's daughter, and he took off. He inputted some different code they'd been working on and took off, and now he doesn't even remember what he was doing. I was like, okay, there's enough meat on the bone there.
But it's also very much a network serialized drama where each week is going to be its own separate thing. Yeah, there's going to be a season-long thing. What's that?
Oh, you're right. That's the show. There always was the story of the week, you know, but it still has that very networky. Like, I literally do not know the difference of what any of these secondary characters do. Like, they haven't like been like, I'm the tech person, I'm this. It's like, okay, you've got like 5 people. Ernie Hudson.
They push buttons on a computer and give exposition about the plot is all.
Right. It's fine. I'm gonna keep watching it. I got Peacock for a year for $20. So they just had some deal. Like, so for the next 12 months, I've got it. We all watched Cobra Kai.
Sure did.
Oh, did we?
Today is a turning point at Cobra Kai. Our competition has closed up shop. And the only thing better than a full dojo is a whole valley of full dojos. Come join us.
This is what we're up against. I know firsthand that Silver isn't afraid of putting kids in harm's way. And that's why I have to take him down.
You're playing with fire, Danny boy. And I am gasoline.
How could you take me down to Mexico and not mention we were coming to get Miguel? Do you even have a plan?
Of course I do. I'll ask around if anyone saw Miguel.
That's the big plan.
We all get shit wrong sometimes, but if you own up to your mistakes, you always have a shot at making things right.
Hey, we're not friends.
We never will be.
There's only one way to end this. You have to cut the head off the snake.
Badass. I told you not to play with fire.
Hey, whoa, no, I didn't mean literally cut his head off.
I know you guys love this show more than me.
5 seasons.
Yeah, who would ever thought we'd make it to 5 seasons? But here we are.
And apparently, Ralph Macchio has an autobiography coming out in the next week or so. It's called like My Life as a Karate Kid or something. It's all these lessons he learned, like this lifelong role that people will not let him forget.
Of course he does. Wow.
Do you know, I was looking at their ages. I feel like he's older than Terry Silver.
He's like 60, isn't he? Isn't he close to 60?
Like, I remember Karate Kid 3. It is 3, right? With Silver. I'm going to look this up because I honestly think that's true.
I mean, he definitely played younger,
Yeah.
Yeah, but because I was sitting there looking at that actor thinking, man, he looks pretty good he was an adult and that. Yeah. Okay. Ralph Macchio was born in 1961. And that guy was born in 1962. so in Karate Kid 3,
he's haunted me my whole life.
In Karate Kid 3, when he's like the adult picking on this little kid, he was older than that. That's insane.
Wow. All right, so spoilers for season 5 here, because I'm gonna say some of the Easter eggs and stuff. So I hope everyone's got to this by now.
If you haven't,
Jared, I've asked every time I've seen Jared, I've asked if he's seen this yet, and he has not yet. So spoilers, Jared. I'm gonna explain what happens. Mike effing Barnes shows up, which I've been with. This was I made this joke when this show first started. I was like, can't wait till we get to Mike Barnes. Can't wait till we get Terry Silver. It's like, and the ridiculousness that that's ever even possible. And here we are. We've done it. We've had a scene with all 3 villains from all 3 movies teaming up together to go fight the villain. Wow, what a moment! I said that topped the 3 Spider-Men for me in No Way Home. Seeing the 3 Karate Kid villains working together, as far as something my young mind would never have been able to conceive of. Back watching Xena, back in those days of what is possible in pop culture, not conceivable, not. I couldn't dream of this. The world we're living in now, and shrugging our shoulders and saying, I'll get to it someday." Like, this is insane. People, wake up. We're living in a pop culture utopia due to Cobra Kai. No. So we got the girlfriend from the 3rd movie.
Yeah.
Which is one of the few actors we haven't had come back at some point.
Do I expose us as missing a bonsai tree trivia question?
Not important. A question about little trees grown in pots. What's that called? It was worded weird.
It wasn't worded like that. That was obviously we would have got that.
We let down. So the girlfriend from 3 comes in with mac and cheese. And I was like, oh, I know that's a reference, but I couldn't remember it, the exact reference. I Google, Karate Kid mac and cheese, and there's the scene where they go out on a date and she makes him mac and cheese, like, oh, mac and cheese, you know what I like. And Daniel has a complete over-the-top reaction to mac and cheese.
Oh yeah.
And I clicked on the video, and it was like a Reddit link, and somebody was like, I hope someday, and this was from like 4 years ago, and they said, oh, I hope they reference how much Daniel loves mac and cheese in the show. Like, again, jokingly, saying what a strange, character trait for him. And here she comes walking in. I know he loves my mac and cheese. It's like they have left no stone unturned from this show. And then they make some reference to Karate Kid 2 and the scam Chosen is running with the fake weights.
Yeah.
He's like, I never did understand that scam. And I swear to you, as a 10-year-old, I couldn't ever, he was weighing food.
Yeah.
And somebody Daniel snaps the weight in half. Like, the weights are fake. He's scamming you. I was like, if the weights don't have weight to them, you're saying the food weighs. Like, I didn't understand. I was like, I don't get what this is. I don't. And here they call it out. It's like, that made no sense. He's like, yeah, I was bad at crime. I'm like, thank you. That's a 30-year-old thing that's been bugging me every time I've seen that movie. And they are closing the loops. They're closing all these loops in my brain. I love that.
That's why I just when Jared said that Karate Kid 2 was superior to 1, I was like, no, there's a plot hole.
Right. I swear to you, every time Terry Silver calls him Danny Boy, I just smile. Every Danny Boy gets a grin out of me. They make his knuckles bleed. I like that. I like that. Yeah. It's just all these obvious little references and not so obvious references just combine to just make me so happy while watching this show. I'm sure you like Dungeons and Dojos. I was like, that's the next game at Seth's house, going to be some Dungeons. Oh, yeah.
There was some good Johnny stuff in there. That's really, he's the reason I watch this show. I just want to watch Johnny, because as a character, he entertains me. He is who he is, and I'm here for it. So
I love the Billie Eilish joke. He's like, you got any Billie Eilish? Oh, yeah.
There's some Billy Idol. Yeah. Good stuff. Makes me want to have a Coors Banquet and chill out for a while. But yeah, I mean,
I don't quite get what why Chosen would like pledge his life to help Daniel and like all. And again, I love the drama of all the karate stuff. Someone will occasionally point out of like, boy, karate is really important to these people. Everything has to be solved with karate or by karate. It's pretty amazing.
And the Valley is obsessed with it.
Yeah. Every time they mention the All Valley like it's the freaking Super Bowl, cracks me up. It's like, oh my God, nobody outside of your 2 blocks has any or gives 2 shits about any of this. But yeah, we had some good, the return of Stingray. Happy to see him back. Played a little part there. And I don't know, the kid stuff is whatever at this point with me. It got kind of interesting for a while, and even though it was silly, but at this point I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever. I don't know that anything they're doing is really all that important. I mean, they've all we're at the point now where we've all teamed up, so.
Yeah, I don't know where they go from here, but
I
think we should have like an evil Hillary Swank show up.
That's literally the only thing left to have is
she comes in and just starts freaking throwing bonsai trees in the wood chipper. And they have to take her out, but she fights like $1 Million Baby.
Well, I think the next season has to be like the Bad News Bears. When the Bad News Bears went to Japan.
Right.
And so I have a feeling that's what we're gonna run
Bad
into.
Bad News Bonsais.
Yeah, Bad News Bonsais. That's the title of the episode.
Sorry, I just sent you my tweet that I tweeted earlier.
Oh, okay.
That New Mario trailer came out this week. Mario Brothers cartoon.
Behold, the king of the Koopas!
Open the gates!
That is but a taste of our fury. Do you yield?
I do not. I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
What is this place?
Touch that mushroom, you'll die! Oh, I'm sorry. That one's perfectly fine. Come on, Mario!
Mushroom Kingdom, here we come.
The Chris Pratt voice. Of course, he's just talking like Chris Pratt. No idea why they didn't use Jared Leto from House of Gucci, which would have been perfect.
Yeah, it would have been better. He could have at least been Luigi.
Yeah,
but yeah, people are losing their minds over this voice deal. I don't know. I mean,
they ruined it. They should have just stuck with voice actors and quit all this celebrity stuff to do these voices and just have people actually.
I agree, but you know how these studios are. They can't help themselves. They can't help themselves. It has to be a winner. You know, it has to make money. And he was in the Lego movie, and so
he's just going to do the same voice,
right?
And be Mario.
Yep.
Who shouldn't even have a voice till the end. should say nothing the whole movie. Go fight Bowser, whip his ass. The prince is like, "Who are you?" "It's me, I'm Mario." Credits.
I would like a version where this movie comes out and then we have Michael.
Yeah, we should have Michael
commentary over the whole movie.
We redub the.
We won't give him a script. We'll
he has to ad lib the whole
movie.
The movie,
exactly. And he just says,
"What's all this going on?"
That would be perfect. We did it. But we'll just play it silently, record him voicing it, and watch it on a loop. That would be amazing.
That's the Mario movie I want.
He's gonna talk about a mustache rides
and all.
Yeah. Oh,
shoot.
What are we talking about?
I don't know. Hey, another animated movie. What? I watched an animated movie.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What? DC's Super Pets.
Oh,
starring
Super
The Rock.
Pets.
And yeah. Probably
Black Adam is in it.
Yeah. Yep. That's
But Kevin Hart was in there.
Kevin Hart's in there.
Yeah.
Playing Ace, the Bat Hound. And it's probably better. I would guarantee to say it's better than Father Stew, but probably not by a whole lot. Maybe just one, whatever the next level up is.
Ouch.
But yeah, I don't know who this movie was for. Because I thought
you were the target audience.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be for kids. Like just a fun, cutesy kids movie. But it has weird stuff in it that is like, there are cuss words that they beep out all the time. And I'm like, why would you put that in a kid's movie? Yeah. It would just, like, The Rock would throw, it felt like he threw an ad lib in there and they just left it in there and just bleeped it out. And it happens several times, and it's off-putting to me, because I'm like, who is it? I don't understand who this movie's really for, because if I was, taking 4-year-olds to go see it, it would seem kind of awkward sometimes, but yet it's way too kiddie for an adult to really go see. So there's that. But yeah, it's not terrible. Like, the voice acting is fine. The animation is pretty good. The story is, it's okay. Like, I thought it would be, I don't know what I thought it would be, but yeah, it's kind of an origin story, a new origin story on crypto and how, and some of the other pets that they've attached to other superheroes. But yeah, it does feature the Justice League in a form, and that's probably like the worst part of the movie, because they just make them silly and easily defeated by other cartoon characters, which, yeah, I don't know. It just didn't hit the mark for me, so. It's on HBO Max right now. You can watch it if you have that HBO Max.
See, Warner's weren't able to cancel it in time.
No, definitely not.
So that one slipped out.
It probably shouldn't have. And the whole time you're watching the movie, it's The Rock. You know it's him. You know it's him voicing crypto, and which is just kind of weird. So I would pass. And that's all I got.
All right.
Everybody's still watching the Welcome to Wrexham.
Oh, it's my favorite show. It's the one that I know it must be my favorite, because when those episodes are on there, when I sit down, that's the first thing I'm watching.
Yeah. They dropped 4 last night.
Yeah, I watched them all. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh, they dropped 4 episodes last night?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen those.
And I think next week there's 3 more, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
There was a couple there in the middle, like the weird one with Rob and Ryan trying to explain whales. Like, it felt very networky. Like, we need more Ryan Reynolds on this show. Like, how do we squeeze him more into this? So it felt a little bit like trying too hard and at a disservice to the story. But these last few, like, it's actually focusing on the players. I'm getting
players
to know the team
and
better.
the community, like all the stuff that the last time we talked, we said it needed more of. They started doing it's like that's what I wanted.
There's a little lull in the middle, but it's definitely picked up.
Yeah. So I purposely I try not to see what is going on now with the team.
Yeah, it would be very easy to just Google and see how.
Yeah, I don't want to know. I want to finish this next week, and then I'm going to see where the team's at now, what's going on. Because, like, I feel like I saw where Brian tweeted sometime in the last month something about them, like they won some game or whatever. And I was like, I'm not following up on this until I finish this series. But, yeah, I love that kind of. I love following a team on a show like that. So,
yeah, very, very heartwarming underdog story that shows anyone can succeed if you just throw tons of money at it.
As long as you just pay a bunch of money to pay really good players to come play in the shitty league.
Anything's possible.
Reach
for the stars.
We could all. Now we know we could all do it. It's like, it doesn't bother me because that was the whole point. Like, that, what else were they going to come and do besides fund this team?
Yeah.
So at least it feels like, I mean, you do still have players there that were there when they got there. So I like that. So,
yeah. And I mean, I don't think we can, like, this team was really down and out. the stadium was in shambles. They weren't using part of it. I mean, they needed somebody to come in like them and put some money into it that had it and could afford it. So, yeah, I agree. Like, it could be a lot less of them. Like, they don't really aren't the show to me, but I get it. They're the ones that backed it. They put their money up for it and to try and turn it around and
I'm sure this idea of the documentary itself was part of the, we're going to spend a lot of money, but we'll get a documentary out of it. Like that's part of the monetization and the marketing and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Although I very much, again, that when Rob and Ryan are involved, it's hit or miss, but I very much like the Last Dance parody of that episode. I had McElhaney sitting there with a big cigar and a glass of wine doing his Michael Jordan impression.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you watch any of that? The Patient with Donald Gleason and Steve Carell?
No.
I've been watching it. I don't know how much is left, but it's a lot. It just keeps going on and on. And I like it. I think Steve Carell's doing a good job. I do enjoy the show, but it just feels like it hasn't gone anywhere. He like kidnaps his therapist to try to get him to stop killing people. And it's just like, that's what it is. He tries to give him therapy and he's like, doesn't really fight back, or, it's like, come on. I feel like at some point he's going to clock the guy and escape, but it's fine. That's about it, I think.
Oh, so that was one co-created by Joel Fields and Joe Weisberg, who made The Americans.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I knew that had some pedigree behind it, but I couldn't remember.
I mean, Steve Carell's good. Yeah, he's a good actor. He does a good job in this. Donald Gleason's good. And it's like it's just very, there's not a lot of twists and turns. It's straightforward. This guy's down there in the basement suffering, having to try to give this guy therapy. And it's not like he's doing some great job at convincing him not to kill people.
Yeah, this I saw a lot of commercials for the show, but I feel like at this point it's gotten kind of pushed to the back because that Dahmer show came out on Netflix that everybody's.
I've watched 3 or 4 episodes of that, and I'm sure, I assume I'll finish it, but it is so gruesomely. It's such a feel bad show. It's so, I mean, I can't believe how they made that. Like, I can't believe they made it so dark.
Yeah, somebody asked me if I was going to watch it the other day, and I was like, I don't.
You can't binge it. You would freaking murder yourself at the end. It was just like it's just so depressing and awful to watch what happened to these people. It's just like, ugh.
And that's what I keep hearing, true crime nowadays, it really focuses on the victims and the survivors, and it's not about glorifying the killings but it's like, how do you not, with all the, we got to show the gruesomeness, and that gets people talking, and like, I don't know, it's just, there's nothing there that interests me, that I don't need to know the full story.
I think
what
he's
I
given
know
a good
now
performance.
is enough. Yeah,
he's given a good performance, and it's a well made. It's just so dark. It's like I had to step away from it. I'm sure I'll watch some more, but it's just like the cops go to his apartment. They're like, "What do you got in there?" It's like, "Just some gay shit." Oh, okay. So all this weird stuff in here, it's just because you're gay. Yeah, it's just like he knew how to try to throw him off the trail. It's got some gay shit in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, fall means The Walking Dead is back, guys. The Walking Dead.
Save the best for last.
Wow, here we go.
I'm excited.
The final part of the third part of the final season.
Yeah, that's the part I was waiting on.
Right. So that has started.
Any part inkling of me acting like I was ready to sign off? just don't pay attention. I want all the details as told by you. Paint me a picture.
There's not much that's happened yet, but we are back in the Commonwealth.
Yeah.
Still. And these last few seasons, like certain
still
groups
wearing the stormtrooper suits.
Yeah.
Okay.
So certain groups have been one place, certain groups have been others. It's very drawn out storytelling where one week you might not see half the characters, but like I feel like for these final few stretch of episodes, we're getting everyone back together. So everyone's kind of coming back to the Commonwealth and we're dealing with all that.
Okay.
So my hopes are up. I think it's going to end strongly. This last part 2 of the final season was pretty strong for latter years.
The way you told it sounded pretty strong.
Yeah, I feel like I added to that in some small way. Yeah. So yeah, there's they announced all these spinoffs. So there was supposed to be the Daryl and Carell show.
Yeah, what's up with all these spinoffs of these?
And apparently, I don't think Carell's in it anymore. It's just a Daryl show. And today I learned it is set in Paris.
Yeah, I saw that.
You can't drive a motorcycle to Paris. How does Daryl get to Paris?
Ramp.
Ramp. There's a Maggie and Negan show set in Washington D.C. And there's the Rick and Michonne spinoff at some point. So
fuck yourselves with all these shows. I don't want to watch any of that.
We still want this, even after after this main show is finally going to end. They think. Although I did watch the Tales of the Walking Dead, they sucker me into that.
I can't believe that's. Oh, what? No,
that's a new one.
Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yeah, that was recent. That one just ended right before the season started. So that was the anthology series. This is the show I wanted back when Fear of the Walking Dead and these other spinoffs launched. Yeah. Of like other characters and other places and other stories. Like that would have interested me 5 years ago. And I'd been really into that, but that they decided not to do that and make 3 other shows that were long, drawn out, too many characters, plotting drama nonsense. So this Tales of the Walking Dead were 6 different episodes, all with different casts. So the first one had Terry Crews and Olivia Munn. It was directed by Ron Underwood, director of Tremors, by the way. So it was probably the best episode. But the zombies were all, and they did actually, he had an underground bunker. So some of it did take place underground. So Terry Crews was like a prepper in Ohio. He's a big OSU fan. And Olivia Munn was a hippie. So he was trying to get to Michigan to meet a woman he knew from the internet in the before times who was on like a prepper message board. He's like, surely she survived. So he was trying to get from Ohio to Michigan to meet this woman. It was a pretty good episode. The second episode was Parker.
What happened?
He went to Michigan. He went to Michigan and found a bunker.
He was dead. And he had to kill her with a baseball bat.
Terry Crews. Actually, she tried to kill him. And she'd been luring people into her bunker. She was back. And then the hippie Olivia Munn, who he didn't like.
Yeah.
He was the true friend, so that was
a lesson. I bet.
Yeah. So the second episode had Parker Posey and Jillian Bell.
Yeah.
And it was a time loop episode. They kept getting killed and then going back to the beginning of the episode. I was like, that's Walking Dead's never done anything remotely like that. And again, it's like, okay, here's a show. It can take chances. It can try something different. Okay. But it was not a great episode.
Oh.
The third episode was about Alpha. Samantha Morton came back.
Right.
And it was about her before she became a whisperer. And it was the worst episode. So the only one with any ties to the series was the worst episode of the bunch. It was terrible. 4 was Anthony Edwards from ER and Poppy Liu from Hacks. He was a scientist who'd been living amongst the dead, documenting, trying to figure out feeding patterns and migration, and like he was trying to study them as subjects, and that wasn't bad. And then the 5th episode was Jesse T. Usher, A-Train from The Boys. He wakes up with a head injury, handcuffed to a zombie, and like has to figure out what's happening. Like, what a great setup! And then nothing interesting happened, which is strange. How you can start with that concept, and then it was very boring. And then the 6th episode, it was Danielle Pineda, who was from the Jurassic World movies and was in the new Cowboy Bebop live action, and Danny Ramirez, who played the Falcon, Joaquin, the Falcon and Falcon Winter Soldier. They were a couple. They show up at this. They hear there's like a house where it's safe. They've been out in the wilderness, and they accidentally kill the woman who's there. And it turned out she's some kind of witch. So like she starts haunting them. So like they have to leave the house because their evil deeds of murdering this poor witch. Like this is weird. Like I don't know. Walking Dead has a very strict formula. This one went way off the rails, which I kind of applaud them for it. Just do whatever you want to do, still in this universe. But it was more miss than hit, I will say, out of the 6. There were probably 2 that were pretty good, and the rest weren't so great.
Interesting. All right.
That does it for tonight, eh? Yes, I'm getting nods.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hearing from the booth. They're telling us our time is up.
Toll Booth Willie says time is up.
All right, folks. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. What have you been into? What's up with you? How's your life? Let us know.
Did you watch Father Stew?
Yeah, tell us how bad Father Stew is. Tell
all
us
up from here.
What's the worst movie you've seen this year? Tell us. Let us know. Give us some. We don't have much. We just talk about what we watched, and then we ramble a while, and then we just peter out, which is what's happening right now. So give us a suggestion. Hey, we haven't done Crossroads in a while. What do you want? What kind of pop culture crossover do you want to hear about?
Let's do it.
Want to hear, do you have a guest we should have on? So I don't know, something. It's not. Think of something. Give it to us.
I vote for the Mario voiceover project.
Yeah.
We'd have to stop after that because there would be nothing. There would be no more worlds to conquer.
We got to wait till Mario comes out.
Yeah.
Unless we can get a bootleg copy.
If anyone could get a bootleg copy of Mario, it would be Michael Caine.
Wouldn't that be the greatest thing ever? Like, we get a bootleg copy, we get Michael to redub the whole movie, and then you put it out before that piece of crap comes out. This is the real Mario who everybody wants to see.
On Prime.
On Prime.
We get it on place we can get it on.
It all comes back together, guys. We just have to riff for just long enough for it all to land on a nice, smooth runway. All right. This is your captain speaking, and we will be back shortly. My name is Jordan Lowe.
Cliff Barnes.
I'm Seth. Bye forever. See you never.
Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Sounds, music, and clips played during the podcast are property of copyright holders. All original content is property of www.udownwithkpp.com. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and leave a comment. Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast, can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found. You can connect with us through social media on Facebook, YouTube, at the Ka-Pow Podcast on Twitter, or email the show, Ka-Pow, the pop cultured podcast @gmail.com. If you really want to go the extra mile, join our Patreon at patreon.com/udownwithkpp for special content and access to Patreon-only benefits. We are grateful for anyone who chooses to contribute, but please know that most of our content will remain free. So please continue to like, comment, and share.